which encompasses the majority of its internal space, and by propelling the gas out through its sphincter. It's also capable of extending a long flat tongue, which produces a sound similar to that of a party horn. Its level of intelligence cannot be ascertained, but it seems capable of understanding several English words in the form of commands. 2912-2 is an unusually tall and spiny peanut with a brilliant left tail and abdomen. It's capable of producing various forms of music through different bodily functions, such as using its vertebra like a xylophone, slapping its large, flat left hand onto its bloated abdomen like a bass drum, and making a vocalization that researchers have described as a cross between an accordion and an early electronic musical instrument. Its face lacks eyes, but it has a bulbous red nose that is capable of honking, and large mouth devoid of lips. Music produced by it triggers strong emotional responses among listeners, although whether this is an anomalous phenomena or not is unknown. 2912-3 more closely resembles a human, with the appearance of face paint on its face. The only vocalization it's capable of is laughter, which causes uncontrollable laughter among listeners, lasting anywhere from 6 to 32 hours. It also is capable of creating clean pies out of thin air, possibly by transmuting the telephone nearby matter to itself. The non-anomalous human that was found with them is a Caucasian male, believed to be between 40 to 60 years old, who provided his name as Dick C. Norris. The interview conducted with the man is laced with heavy profanity, and he doesn't seem pleased to be in containment, claiming that Mr. Fuller isn't exactly known for his patience. He says that his job within the circus is clown breeding, and so is his father and his father's father. When asked what the job entails, he calls the researcher stupid, and says that it's right in the name. He breeds clowns. Back in the old days, they didn't have clown breeders. Instead, they had child breakers, who transformed children into freaks through some sort of anomalous means. Around a month and a half after entering containment, the 3 anomalous clowns all exploded inside of their containment cells, with no changes in their behavior prior to this event. Their containment cells were coated with blood, viscera, confetti, and a viscous black liquid. When asked about the incident, the man angrily stated that they forgot to milk the clowns, and they've ruined a decade of work. 5 weeks later, an anomalous individual somehow entered the man's containment cell, implied to be Manny. We only hear audio from the man, who at first believes that he's being rescued, as he says that he's the best clown breeder that Mr. Fuller has. Instead, the man dies as Manny approaches him, with an autopsy revealing the cause of death to be a heart attack. It seems Herman Fuller values his secrecy quite a bit. Finally, we have SCP-2094, who provides quite a bit more insight into how it is working in the circus, or at least one perspective of how it might be. 2094 is a human male in the European tent in his 30s, who speaks American English with a New York City dialect. He possesses exceptional non-anomalous manual dexterity, with a proficiency in juggling, but his anomalous trait is focused around his mouth. His lower jaw and facial muscles can be stretched up to 2 meters in any direction without causing considerable pain or injury, and any physical matter that enters his mouth can be redirected into an extra-dimensional space. There seems to be no limit to the amount of matter that he can store in this space, the weight of objects inside having no bearing on him, and he suffers no discomfort or impaired mobility from stored objects. He was recovered in an open field of Japan, along with a bunch of non-anomalous objects related to the circus. He was locked inside of a large antique trunk, bearing the words 4 S's on its top panel. During initial containment, his storage space was emptied out, revealing a large collection of objects, including wooden juggling gloves, an accordion, a filled suitcase, a fully functional 1962 Maserati 3500 coupe, an operational submachine gun circa 1959, a fire-breathing torch, and a plastic trunk containing 45 bottles of kerosene. An interview is conducted by Dr. O'Sullivan the day after 2094 is taken into containment. It's immediately evident that 2094 is highly talkative and quite jovial, making a number of jokes about the situation and O'Sullivan's last name. When asked about the circus of the sliding, 2094 says that it's a grand place with lovely people, and the doctor should go see it sometime. When the doctor says that he would very much like to see it and asks how to find it, 2094 says that you don't find the circus, it finds you. As you go through a dull life of drudgery and you're starting to feel like there's nothing worth living for, the circus will make an appearance to remind you that there's still some magic left in the world. The doctor then asks about a man at the circus with an upside-down face. Man. 2094 says that he's a very memorable fellow, good with kids, excellent performer, a diligent leader, who's usually off doing his own thing as he's very busy. O'Sullivan asks when 2094 first met Manny, but he says that the doctor doesn't really want to hear about that. He'd rather hear his impression of Jane Fonda. The doctor reassures him that it's okay for him to talk about his experience at the circus, if there was any abuse, as he's safe from his captors now. 2094 says that nothing could be further from the truth, and that the people at the circus are saints. He ran away from home, and they welcomed him with open arms. He's encouraged to open up more about how he started at the circus, so he talks about his youth. When he was 8, he lived with his alcoholic mother, and the two hated one another. She resented his abnormality and kept him holed up in their home, as she was worried he would eat something. It didn't occur to him to ever leave until one night when he was visited by Manny at his bedroom window, who told him that freaks didn't belong cooped up in boxes their whole lives. Manny said that they belong out in the world, sharing their gifts and making people laugh, scream, and puke. He then told him of a place where he'd be loved by hundreds and be a star with a real family. 2094 went along with Manny, his mother too drunk to notice, and he says